Macca's Guides.
Hey guys, Macca here. We are continuing with For Honor. This is the Collectibles Guide for Chapter 3 at the very beginning of the first mission, which is called Duty, Turn Around, and Observe Behind You off in the distance.
Once the bridge gate fell to the Warborn Raider.
Then turn around, and alongside this wooden walkway, you'll be able to scan the building.
The barbarians were the Orochi that Ayu freed was no
Walk forward into the courtyard and then run across to find the breakables.
Broken open sooner. The Vikings perhaps would have stayed on that bridge.
Then you'll destroy the gate using some fire arrows and be able to go through. As you pass under the gate, look to your left to find breakables.
Where is Torzin? He should be defending the bridge.
From these breakables, use the wooden ramp path and go up. As you approach the top, there is a large tree just off to the right hand side, and you'll be able to observe it. From that previous collectible, you can turn left and find a statue in this other area, which you should observe.
Yet, how many layers of civilization lie within?
Now you'll turn around and look directly behind you, following the left-hand path and using a fire arrow to destroy something. There's also going to be breakable pots right next to that thing you destroyed. They'll break, and you'll be able to pick up the breakable. Then, at that point, you can move back a little bit away from that building and look directly up at the large tower, and you'll be able to observe it.
The Imperial Palace.
Then you'll want to move towards your objective, but try to stay on the highest ground possible. You will have to descend a little bit, though, and then you'll overlook a small balcony. If you look down into the small battlefield, you'll be able to scan an object.
The seventh new emperor had a river diverted to pass.
Now you'll want to drop down and go to the bridge, which is your main objective. After you reach the bridge, it'll trigger a small cinematic, and then after that cinematic, you'll want to run forward up the hill, and once you reach the large open area, go to the left-hand side to find some easy breakables. Right next to these breakables, turn a little bit to your right towards the open area and look up into the trees to find the red banners, and that's an observable. After killing off the waves of enemies and successfully defending the poison plants, run down into the new area and keep left. If you keep left, you'll find some archers which you'll want to kill using arrows or with sword attacks, and they're standing right next to some breakables which you can go and pick up. On the opposite side of this area from the breakable, you can find a statue. You will need to drop down and move closer to it in order to be able to scan it.
A monk once told me that true peace.
Next up, we have Mission 2 called Thinning the Herd. This is the very beginning of the mission. You'll have 3 separate bosses that you need to defeat. However, if you defeat the last boss, it will end the mission, so make sure you leave at least one of them alive. From the very beginning, go up the left-hand side path to find the large gate at the top of the hill. Then continue along the same path and through the trees until you reach another area.
All I did was show them that fact.
Once you reach the other area, there will be a boss encounter, as well as an observable statue to your left-hand side.
Apollyon is a demon.
At the back of this area, you can also find breakables.
It means means destroyer. Holden's demon name is Asmodai. Recently, he has preferred his given name.
Now we'll want to run back down into the center of the area, not far from where we spawned. In front of us when we spawned, there was a large building. We'll want to go under that roof to find some dead bodies, and those dead bodies are an observable.
We left 4 daimyo in the swamp.
Next, we'll want to go into the village where we can find our second boss encounter.
And solve their problems. But I had chosen well.
But before taking him out, as you enter the gate, take a left-hand turn and go through the building, and then spot the breakables on the left-hand side of the open area outside.
I'm going to find you.
At this point, you can either take out the other hero or just ignore him and come back later, but you'll want to cross the bridge, go down the stairs, and through the gate. As you exit the gate, take a sharp left-hand turn and then find the large watchtower. At the base of the watchtower, you can find some breakables. After you take the breakables out, you can either take out the enemies or just skip them and then climb the ladder to the top of the watchtower. The angle for this observable is a little bit tricky, but you should be able to stand pretty far back from it and scan it when you're standing close to the ladder itself and not actually on the ladder.
The waters of the mire rise and
Now we're going to climb back down and move towards our third and final objective, making sure to not take out the last hero until we get all the collectibles in the mission. On our way to this hero, we'll see a small building with a hanging bell. Make sure that you inspect that hanging bell.
our world is filled with buried cities.
Continue forward and enter the village.
Ruins. But in the mire, those crumbled remains are only a few centuries old.
As you enter the village from this path, spot the breakables on the right-hand side, and all we have left is 2 more quick things. Continue through the village and follow the path. It'll be heading west. You can use the compass in the bottom right-hand corner to figure that out. As you're heading there, you will spot a boat. Go through that boat and under, and you will find breakables on the right-hand side as you exit.
Run and hide. You always
We're now moving on to the third mission of Chapter 3. This is called Picking Up the Pieces. As soon as the mission starts, look directly at your own feet and scan the dead bodies. Then you can just run forward and continue running forward for a bit, turning left when the path splits. Continue following the leftist most path and find the breakables. Now run across the open area and you will find more breakables, this time a little bit west of where we just were. Then we're going to return a little bit in the same direction as where we came from, and if all of this looks a little familiar, it's because it's actually the same location as the previous mission, and we're going to where that mission started, right at the spawn near the docks. You can scan the overhanging archway at the docks.
Death waits for us at the end of every...
From the docks, you can take a little bit of a turn following the near wall, spotting a large tree archway. You can scan that tree archway.
A warrior does not let... The Dawn Empire is vast.
And just under that tree, you can also find breakables, as well as a small encounter where you're going to fight someone.
There you will find samurai. They are persistent.
Now proceed by going under that large tree and up the hill. You'll notice the large gate, but this time it's open. Make sure you scan it.
The samurai are so few.
Also at the top of the hill are breakables just on your right-hand side.
Each warrior has to be the equal of 10 of ours or more if they are to survive.
Now make sure you don't go through the gate just yet. Instead, follow the path along the back. Once here, you'll be able to find a dead body, and that's observable. At this point, you can return to the large gate and go inside.
5 proved willing to say they would take it to an enemy they knew was untrustworthy. 5 liars. 5 cowards.
Once through the gate, scan the large tree on the right-hand side of the courtyard.
The trees of the mire had witnessed several
Then skip the battle and instead go up the left-hand side stairs and find the breakables on the platform in order to get everything for the mission and then move on. Next up, we have Chapter 4. This one's called Unity from the very beginning. Turn around directly behind you, and you will find something to observe. Then continue forward where you were actually facing when you started the mission. There's a large gate in front of you, which you should also observe. Then on your right-hand side, there's a paper wall. Go through it, kill the enemy, continue forward. Take a left-hand turn, you'll notice a huge courtyard with a bunch of training enemies, which you can also observe. Now continue forward and go around, but instead of continuing past the buildings, make sure you hook left and then go into one of the buildings to find some observables. Next, we'll want to head out of this building, and directly in front of us, there will be a chain of 3 paper walls. So go through the first one, and then go through the second one. But instead of entering that building in front of us, take a little bit of a left-hand turn and go back to that courtyard with all of the enemies. And there's a dude standing on the balcony. If you get close enough, you'll be able to scan him, although it might trigger some of the enemies to attack you. So I recommend running away right away. Then continue forward through that building that we were just in front of, and you can observe some of the tables on the right-hand side. Then continue forward and go through the paper door directly in front of you. As you enter the new area, find breakables on your right-hand side in the second part of the room. From here, continue through the next set of paper walls. There will be an enemy we will be skipping. If you go all the way to the back of this area and the left, there's a little bit of a balcony, and if you look down, you'll be able to find an observable right there.
I wish that I had been there that day.
Then continue along the path to continue the mission, up the stairs and up the second stairs. Before we drop down to continue the mission, make sure we scan this large area, and then you can drop down. Once we open the gate and everyone starts rushing forward, you'll notice the huge building in front of us. Run forward and then up the first set of stairs and take a left-hand turn. You'll find a paper wall to go through. Go through that paper wall, take the first turn in the building, and find breakables on the left-hand side. After those breakables, there's another paper wall right next to them. Destroy that, and in the doorway, if you look in the middle of the room, you can find another observable. Then turn around and go back into the courtyard. Run across to the other little stage area, and on the left-hand side, you'll find breakables. From here, go back to the middle area and look up the giant set of stairs to find a statue at the top. Scan it near the middle in order to trigger it. Then continue up the left-hand side stairs, and as you reach the top, you'll take a small right-hand turn to find the last set of breakables for this mission. This is Chapter 3, Mission 5. The mission is called Honor. As soon as you spawn, on your right-hand side, you'd have to be blind not to see them, is a pair of breakables. Now we're going to continue across this large open area counterclockwise. Our objective is to kill the night patrols. We can do that, or we can wait until later. You will have to do it anyways. But as you continue along the right-hand side, you'll find a fire pit that you can scan and continue along the right-hand side, skipping the enemies if you so desire. Again, we will have to kill them. Stick as right as possible, hugging the edge of the wall, and you can find another set of knights here, and there are also scannable. And we're going to continue along the right-hand side, continuing the pattern. You'll notice a large kind of castle with a wooden bridge connecting. This is going to be our next objective, so don't go there quite yet. Instead, at the base of that bridge on the left-hand side, find your breakables. Then I've taken care of all the enemies, and I've continued along the outside of the map, noticing a bridge, crossing the bridge, and scanning the large gate in front of me. Then from that gate, I turned around and noticed a geyser.
Gangs of thugs, highwaymen, toughs.
From that geyser, we can kind of do a little bit of a 180 and notice some machinery on the right-hand side of the map near the water. Now we can continue forward along the side of the map using the same pattern we've been doing. In front of us will be a large gate with archers. We can observe the actual gate itself. And then after that, we'll also want to grab the breakables on the right-hand side.
Yet, the Iron Commanders continue to send us reinforcements and
At this point, I am now crossing that bridge that I talked about earlier to find my ally after taking out all of the patrols. At the top of the bridge, you should notice a pretty obvious set of breakables. You'll then have to drop down into this pit and secure the castle, and you'll have about 3 or 4 waves of enemies come and fight you. Before you kill all of the enemies, make sure you find the breakables in the corner here. We'll then be taken to a small loading screen and taken to another section of the map. From where we spawned, turn left and then look into the middle area in order to observe the large statue. Then continue forward and notice a small ladder on your left-hand side. If you look off into the distance while standing very close to the ladder, you can scan the kind of area in the back there. Now we'll want to go to the opposite side of this balcony, so run back towards where we spawned and continue forward. Take your first exit on the right-hand side and then hug the edge of the wall. As you continue forward, you'll notice a large open area with a huge statue and some geysers. Continue past the statue to the tree, looking way up high in that tree to find an observable. Then continue past the tree, watch out for all the enemies, and at the back of this area, you can find some breakables.
Even after all that, life persists. Existence is battle. To breathe is to fight.
Next, you'll want to go back to where we spawned when we started this new area and drop down the hole on your left-hand side by using an attack. As soon as we drop down, we'll notice breakables on our right-hand side. At this point, you can try to kill some of the enemies in order to protect your ally from being killed, or you can try to just rush through these collectibles as fast as possible, probably fail your mission, and then just retry it. But if you continue back and go down along the outside, you'll notice some breakables here at the bottom of the ladder we were standing at before. And then you can continue up the ladder and take a left-hand turn once you reach the top. After taking that left-hand turn, going down the stairs and through the door, noticing breakables on the left-hand side. Then run further towards your objective. and then turn back to look at the church we came from in order to scan it. Now continue forward and look at the bridge to find the last observable for this mission. Right next to that bridge, we can also find the breakables. Don't worry if you do end up escorting your ally to this area, it won't end the mission until after more battles. However, I do recommend trying to get the collectibles as fast as possible. And now we're in the final mission of the game. This is it. You'll grab all of your achievements and trophies for all your collectibles, as well as for beating the game and the samurai campaign. Continue forward and you'll notice a statue that's been tilted over as a ramp. Observe it. And then right under that you'll also find breakables that you'll be able to take care of. Now you'll want to climb up that ramp that we scanned, the little statue ramp, and about halfway up the ramp, turn around and look up. And you can actually observe the gigantic castle you're in front of. Now you'll want to climb up to the top of the ramp and continue forward to the edge. At the edge, you can look off into the distance a little bit onto the right to spot some fire, and that's going to be another thing to observe. Then look directly under you at the tip of the building in order to find yet another thing to observe. Now we're going to go to both of the catapults. Feel free to take care of them when you're there. They are our main objectives. On the right hand side catapult, you can observe a building off to the left hand side if you turn around. Then if we run to the other catapult location, we can do the exact same thing mirrored on the other side. So come up to the area and look a little bit off to the right in order to scan a building. Then through editing, I've taken care of the catapults and all of the enemies. Continue forward and down the set of stairs, turning right and going down the rubble. As you progress forward here, you'll notice a large pillar in front of you, and there's a little bit of a watchtower built into the castle there that you'll want to observe. Continue forward into the next open area to find breakables on your left-hand side, and then take care of all of the enemies and your objectives in order to progress the mission. After the Shigoki moves over the wooden pallet in order to clear the space, just sprint forward up the stairs and take a left-hand turn as you come out of the building to easily spot some breakables.
All that was left was up.
Then, after that Shigoki lets you under the gate as part of the mission, as soon as you gain control of your character, look to the right-hand side and spot your breakables.
I couldn't risk Apollyon escaping. I had to find her.
Right next to these breakables is a small staircase, and you can scan inside of that staircase. We have one breakable and one observable left, and they're both located in the tower, just past that last objective. As you climb up, you'll get to the second floor, and you'll be able to observe a shield on the wall as you fight a peacekeeper. Congratulations on your achievement or trophy. Now continue on to the next floor using the stairs by either skipping the enemy or fighting them. And as you get to the top, you should easily notice the breakables directly in front of you. Congratulations on yet another achievement or trophy if you've been following the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope the video was helpful. Please drop a like if it was. It does help me out a lot. Share the video with a friend if you so desire. Special thanks goes to Drop Dead Artemis as well as Darth Dave 89 for supporting the show on Patreon. And hopefully I see you guys next time. Again, thanks for watching. Peace.